All right, this is nuts. I'm gonna try and find her again, and we're gonna see if we can find Monica. It's been goofy. Just so y'all know, we're working on it. It's just been like a technical difficulty. Hang on, just be hanging with us. This is just technology in action. We're gonna make this happen. I swear to God we are. This is just crazy. Okay, I'm looking at how I can get you back in here, and it's just okay. I'm inviting you all 3 times again here, and let's just see if they show up in your prompts. I've got you and I've got Changa, and both Changas invited right now into the prompts. And so this is this is this is better than Saturday morning cartoons. And I have already done the invitations a couple of times, and so I just don't know what happens to these to these um yeah, I have you invited as Monica Schutt. I have you invited as Changa Charanga, both your Changa Charangas. Yeah, I've sent you an invitation twice now. You're invited on all 3 accounts. And and it's just weird. I don't know. I don't know what to say. Um, this is just goofy. Goofy, goofy, goofy. Damn. Do you see any invitations yet, Monica? Okay. Add. Here we go. I think we're going to get it now. And this has happened before. Okay, here we
Oh my God!
turn your camera. You got to turn your camera the other way.
See, or my body.
Yeah, turn your camera the other way. Whatever works for you. There you are.
Oh,
See, I knew we'd get this at some point.
we're flowing now.
This is, oh man, this
It's
is crazy
working.
funny.
Finally, we got through
Yeah,
the hard waves, and now it's
yeah.
working.
This has happened before,
Learning
and
to navigate
you know,
the waves we do.
yeah. There you go.
Casey.
You're looking beautiful, baby.
You too! Finally!
Oh God, finally.
Oh, God.
So yeah, I'm sitting on a mountaintop,
Wow.
and I have to do it this way. I have to drive up to the mountaintop, otherwise I get no signal.
Hearts from me too to everyone. Oh, look at
Yeah,
so
yeah,
much
yeah. Big
love.
hearts to everyone.
Thank you so much.
Oh God. So this is great. I mean, we've been planning on this for so long,
Yes.
uh, you know, and to finally be here, good Lord.
Crazy.
And I can see my camera is like acting weird. So the video on mine, I can see there's a delay, but generally the audio works fine.
I hear you
So
perfectly, and I see you very well too.
yeah, I can see a delay in my video when I'm watching. It's like pixelizing for me, but I don't know how it looks to the video audience. I don't know.
Well,
Just be my
the
phone.
important thing is to see you with the eyes of the heart.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So, uh, yeah, yeah, everybody seems to be seeing and hearing fine. So, how are you doing, Monica?
Ah,
You and I have been, I loved your live video the other day. That was just too enchanting. You're so animated, and I love your little set with the cartoon characters. It's a lovely set. Is that your new studio?
right. Very
It's so
improvised.
fun.
He's cute.
Yeah, is that your new studio?
Yes, my provisory studio. I'm planning to do different things I don't know, every time I can. But it's nice for now. I'm gonna keep it for a couple more live shows.
Perfect.
And I'm doing
Well, you
fine.
came on the other day with your live show. It was so animated. You were having so much fun. You were just showing such enthusiasm and love and light energy, and I
Yeah.
was just like, "There's my girl." You work it.
You mean the one I did in Spanish yesterday or 2 days ago, I
Yeah,
think?
yeah, yeah. The one in Spanish. I mean, I didn't understand a word, but I got the energy for sure.
Oh,
You know.
thank you. Yeah, I just went with the inspiration of the moment and I said, okay, let's do it because I feel like I want to talk and let's just don't think about it and let's just roll with it. And it just came
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
yeah.
No, and I'm glad that you can do that too, to reach the Spanish audience because there's still controversy around all of that, about don't drink the HP. And
Yes,
so, and that's been contemporary again, that whole subject matter with people we know
yeah.
has shown up again.
Yes, yes, yes. It's crazy so many superstitions there are in South America, especially. I think because I totally understand that because I am South American and I know how the mentality is there. It's very different than the European or more first world mentality. And
Yes.
there are so many myths and misconceptions and superstition, yes, and in all areas of life. Actually, this has been my perception since I was a little girl. And also in urine therapy, I was very surprised when I started in reading about urine therapy. It was through the European books. I read The Water of Life, was my first book. And there right away, John Armstrong, he said it himself. He wrote in his own words as part of the book that he was really annoyed at people who were spreading the different myths of urine therapy, how to practice urine therapy. And one of these myths was that you have to collect only the middle part and discard the first part
Right.
and the last part. That his experience had showed him that every drop of urine is precious, is equally medicinal. You should not discard anything. And he mentioned other myths, and so I learned that, oh, okay, so I have to be aware that even in this field of natural healing modality, such as the urine therapy, there can be misleading information. So I have to be aware. And I was really, really fortunate to have as my first mentor, as my first teacher, the book of John Armstrong, because he right away cleared up these myths, and he talked about the aged urine, how much more powerful it is as medicine, and totally harmless, totally, you know, you can trust your aged urine, and it's really the best you can do to support your cleansing. And then
that myth was carried on with Martha Christie. You know, she, in her book, she said, you know, do the midstream and all of that.
Yeah.
And so when, you know, there was mixed messages coming. And it wasn't until actually you were the first one that you posted up that article that you had written about the aged urine with the red cloth covered jars, and you wrote that article. And that's when I finally got attuned to the fact that, oh, wait, I can be saving the urine too, you know? So I've learned more from you and Rosalind Hanson and Dave Murphy combined. And that's where I base most of my teaching to other people, even though I've done a lot of research, read a lot of books and all that stuff. A lot of it's just experiential, but I went into all of those modalities because of what I was learning from you and Rosalind and Dave Moore.
Yes.
Because I felt I totally trusted what you guys were doing and saying and how you delivered your message. And it just made perfect sense to me. I thought, why would the aged urine be anything but better? I mean, you know, when I started looking at it, I thought, just like wine, you know, I mean, you know, wine isn't any good until it starts to do what it does and ferments and ages and processes.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking with the stem cell enzymes, it just made a lot of sense.
Yes.
Made a lot of sense to me.
Yes, and also, you know, the fact that it would be totally absurd, in my view, that we are given this free gift, which is so divine, which can heal us, that our body produces, and it will turn into a poison after 30 minutes.
Yeah.
It's absurd.
Well, and this is what I tell people. I said, you know, when they give me that crap about, oh, it's toxic waste, I said, if your urine was toxic waste, you'd be dead.
Yeah.
You'd already be dead.
Yeah. None of us would be alive. We would all be with vaginal infections and, you know, testicles infections and bladder infections.
I mean, it makes no sense.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, really, the logic behind the naysayers makes no sense to me.
Yes, yes.
You know, they're argumentative, and a lot of it is because of their own denial, because they can't see themselves drinking their pee, so they want to make you wrong, and you know, validate their own posture or position. You know, I mean, it just makes no sense.
Yeah.
You know, besides that, it's just an ego thing, not a real research thing, not a knowledge base, certainly not a testimonial experiential thing. It's a bullshit thing because of their, you know, their limitation of understanding.
Yeah.
And no educated person wants to be confronted with the fact that they could be a fucking idiot when it comes to urine therapy.
Yeah.
You know? You know what I mean?
It's okay. No one is forcing anyone to drink their urine. We are just sharing our experiences. They are wonderful experiences with fresh urine, with aged urine.
Yes, Wendy.
And I'm not forcing anyone, no one is forcing anyone to use the aged urine, to drink the aged urine. If people don't like the idea or are afraid, it's okay. They can use their fresh urine. They can heal. They will heal as well. It will take a little bit more time, but it's okay. It's still gonna work, and you know, that's the beauty, that as long as we don't forbid, you know, we don't try to force something onto someone or prevent them to use something.
Now, even yesterday, okay, when I put up that, you know, when I put up the testimonial, you know, and I was saying it earlier in the other video before we finally got this video, I put that up because there's like a secret group within the closed group Urine Therapy about testimonials.
Yeah.
So I just, I got invited in there. So I typed the whole thing out and made the whole thing, put up the pictures. And I thought, well, if I'm going to go through all of that, I might as well spread it around. Now, I had no idea that Facebook was going to light up like a pinball machine by doing that. It was just nuts. I mean, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of responses. And I'm like, really? But here's the point is this, there's this one person who's a fruitarian or whatever, and he's coming in, well, you can do all that, with just fruit. And I said, sure, you can do a lot of things. You can change your mind, you can change your thing, but it's an accelerant. And if you understand how powerful it is as an accelerant, and that's why I chose to do what I did, because it accelerated my healing. I
Yes.
didn't waste any
Yes.
time.
And I can see that,
It was
Casey.
hit and run.
Yeah, it's amazing. And I think that's where I think I should focus on, just sharing my experience. And I am so inspired by your experience, by your testimony, and don't worry about people who don't want to believe us, or don't want to practice, or want to argue. That's not important.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone is free to listen or not listen, or do or not do. I think we should really focus, or I should focus on just simply sharing my wonderful experiences. And I have so many experiences to share and to tell, and great news.
Yeah, it's exactly it. And here's the thing, like it goes into every category, not just the pee, the diet, the lifestyle choices, whether you smoke or drink or not, all of these things are personal choices. And by anybody imposing that they've got it figured out absolutely across the board is fooling themselves, because every body is different and every experience is different. And I don't know what it took to get your body, to the point it is. I don't know if you're going to heal as fast as I did. I don't know if any of this is, you know what I mean? And so it's preposterous. Anybody who postures themselves in a like mind, thinking that they can just be a urine therapist and tell everybody what to do, they got to get their head out of their ass, because that is not accurate.
Yes, you have to focus on your own journey. And the best that you can do is really do that, because you have to be the change that you want to see in others. They will come to you and ask you, and be open to what you have to share, and test for themselves also to find their own way. If you keep on working on you and just forget about, focusing on something else, you cannot change anyone but you. And here about diet, someone is asking, Wendy Lynn, is it okay to start urine therapy before? Is it okay if I read some of the questions?
Oh yeah, please do, because they move too fast for me, and I didn't.
And it's a perfect question for what you were just talking about, the diet, because she's asking if it's okay to start the urine therapy while her diet is not optimal. She doesn't have a good diet at this moment, very bad habits, and she wants to know, and maybe this is a question that many people have, if urine therapy is still effective if the diet is bad. And I can share from my own experience. When I started, my diet was not perfect at all. My diet is not even now perfect, But yes, your urine, no matter how toxic your body is, I have seen it in my own experience, and I have seen it in so many other people who came to me with cancer, with the urine was horrible looking, was horrible tasting, and they healed by drinking that urine, by not being in the best diet, in the best condition of the body. So yes, the answer is yes. I have seen it working regardless of the diet. So if I was going to wait, to first change my diet before I started practicing urine therapy, I would be probably waiting until today and never have started, because it's very difficult to change the diet. At least for me, has been taking me many years. And I'm not even really perfectly happy with how my diet is. I mean, there's always so much more I can do. But urine therapy, starting to drink my urine even when my diet was not good, when I was smoking, drinking alcohol, going back to eating meat, using drugs. I had my periods where I was going back to very bad habits, but I kept drinking my urine all the time. And this is what ultimately helped me to also get rid of those bad habits, you know? So,
Yes.
yeah,
Well, and that's the thing. That's what I've also recognized, because I go back and forth, and I've only been doing this for 15 months, 16 months. So I realize that now it doesn't matter what I do. If I eat cooked food, if I eat salt, if I have any alcohol, if I smoke cigarettes, I mean, it didn't matter, because the pee, it's getting the mind straight. Once you realize that the pee is your own perfect medicine, and you get past the idea that it's not a toxic waste, and it may smell bad, taste bad, all that stuff, but it can do that even when you have a healthy diet if you're detoxing, because my pee can change. It can go from kind of a dark and dank, and then the next loop is clean like water.
yes,
So, right? I mean, you've been doing this 20 plus years,
yes,
so you've
yes,
seen your pee go from every color of the rainbow, I'm sure.
yes, yes. There is so much has to do with what I have eaten before and what is in stored in my body from previous years, even,
Yes.
So during detox, even if the diet is perfect or very, very natural, it can come to the urine changing color and taste, and you are like thinking, what? I didn't eat anything. But it's just the toxins moving through the body processing very old toxic waste. And this is why the urine
Yes.
changes in flavor. And you have to trust. I had to trust my body, and I saw that I
Totally.
could always trust my urine, always drink it, no matter how crazy it changed, but because it was always my perfect medicine, always had a positive effect.
Well, like Rosalind says, urine does not discriminate.
You cannot
And it
decide
doesn't. Yeah, it's really just getting our head out of our ass and
yes,
getting our own
yes,
mindset out of the way.
yes.
And I didn't have a problem with that. When I first heard Dave and Andrew and they were talking about urine therapy, and I thought, wow, people drink their pee. How curious. Why would they do that? Now, I was one of those kind of people that didn't go, oh, that's disgusting. I just thought, that's interesting. Why would you do that? And so my first morning, certainly, when I was looking at that first glass of pee, I thought, well, here goes, and I drank it, and I thought, well, what's the big deal? There's no big deal here. And so right from the get-go, I never had a problem drinking my pee. Just never had a problem with it. Just didn't have a problem. I thought, what's the problem here? This works.
So great. Yes.
Yeah.
Ultimately, it's about self-love as well, no? Self-acceptance. I think being able to drink your pee without any disgust is the ultimate expression of self-love and self-acceptance.
It's absolutely the truth. And just as somebody was asking about the spiritual, I tell you what, this is what I learned real quick. For me personally, the transformations happened really quick. The first and foremost was decalcification. That's why my arthritis and bursitis and tendonitis and these other things were disappearing so quickly, because I was looping and decalcifying with that and the distilled water. It was happening fast.
Yeah.
So he wants to know about spiritual.
Yes.
Well, the things that happened for me, my pineal and pituitaries opened up. They stopped crystallizing and started becoming fluid again. My joints became fluid again.
Yeah.
My heart started becoming fluid again. Right?
Yeah.
So all of it, I became liquid. I became fluid. And how? Drinking my pee, it accelerated everything. Certainly you could do that as a fruitarian or a breatharian, but pee is just a beautiful accelerant.
It's the shortcut.
It accelerates.
Yes, because you are drinking your own spiritual essence. You know that water carries energy, is an energy absorbent of energy, and the water that runs through your body is your urine. So it carries your energy. And what is your energy? The energy that is really you is your essence, is your spirit. So by drinking your urine, you are bypassing any blockages that might be energetic blockages in the way, and you're forcing this connection. You're helping to tune into the frequency of your spirit, you know, because this water carries it. And this is why it's the shortcut to connect again to your real spiritual essence, to become more aware, to be in touch again with your nature, with love. Your nature is pure love, pure happiness, pure bliss. This is what I have discovered.
It is the greatest act of self-love that I ever discovered.
Yeah.
It helped me get so out of my own way in such a major way. I would have never seen it coming. I would have never imagined it.
Yes.
You know, I mean, when I look at where I'm at right now, as opposed to, as a matter of fact, in 1 week from now, it was 4 years ago that I had the neck surgery. So when I think back of where I was 4 years ago from right now, I was 246 pounds. I was laying around in pain, drinking like a fish, smoking pot like a madman, and just in pain, pain, pain. I was unhealthy, I was unhappy, and I didn't have a clue of what, I was going to do. But once I had the neck surgery, things just started to change. But nothing changed like it did when I drinking my pee.
Yeah.
Now, Heidi has asked a question, and I'm going to answer her question because she wanted to know about the fresh and the aged. Now, the difference is with the age, it starts to multiply in the stem cell enzyme. So once it starts aging, it starts to multiply, and that is the powerful difference. Your fresh has it, but it isn't as concentrated.
Yes. Yes.
And so, right, the longer it ages, the more it accelerates, and it's like seismic. It goes tenfold.
Yeah, it gets concentrated.
I mean, every day, it concentrates, and so it becomes more and more powerful every day it ages.
Yeah.
Right?
Also, the water content evaporates. So this is also a concentration. And urine is alive. You have to really, we were talking about the energy, right? That water carries the energy. Urine carries the energy of our soul. So this urine is alive. Our soul, our vibration is there. Like everything is alive, actually. You know, everything is soul. Everything is love. Everything is this energy that is God, divinity, is love that has created everything. So everything is actually alive. And in our urine, there is this pure love, divine love. So it is a living substance. And as a living substance, it keeps creating, it keeps, the magic doesn't stop. Once you take the urine out of your body and you store it, there is like I imagine, it's like a microcosmos continuing the creation, because it's this love that has created everything we see, is the energy of God, divinity. It keeps creating galaxies, microcosmic, the stem cells. What are the stem cells? I compare the stem cells, or each cell of my body, I compare it to every human being inhabiting Mother Earth, or a galaxy. We are like a galaxy. It's like we are a microcosmos as the macrocosmos. Everything is creation, everything is magic, everything is this love in action, energy creating matter. So our urine is continuing this wonderful creation, and we don't know, we only know about stem cells that reproduce, but who knows what else,
right. Well, and
continuing there.
I want to just interject because of another question that just ran by Rich. And this one has to do with the scientific research, okay?
Yeah.
Now, I want to address this one because it is really important, because everybody gets so caught up in the scientifics about what our urine contains. But if you join any of the groups and you look at some of the files, you can find some of these things. Now, here's a really graphic one. This one's so graphic, it's nuts, because it comes from the Porta-John company. And Porta-John puts it right into their manufactured posts about how they're partnering with the pharmaceutical companies on a worldwide scale. They're collecting the urine, and they put all the ingredients that they're farming. that they're harvesting out of the urine, and why they're harvesting it. It's right on the goddamn page of Porta-John. Now, why would Porta-John be harvesting urine?
Yeah.
Why? Why?
Yeah.
You know, why would they be harvesting urine from cows and horses,
Yes,
which they
there
do?
is so
It's a
much wonder.
multi-billion-dollar
Yes,
industry,
there is so
multi-billion-dollar
much. There
industry.
is so much, and as it ages, it becomes even much more magical, much more wonderful. And regarding scientific reference or evidence of the stem cells multiplying, there is, and I have shared this article. I will post the link here, but you can go on Google and type in clinical studies stem cells urine, and you will find this article, this scientific paper. It's a clinical study made in China, and actually they have been able to, by cultivating the urine, and they say it's waiting even 24 hours waiting, they acquire so many more stem cells, and if they wait 4 to 5 weeks, it's such a number. It's so crazy, the number, that I cannot pronounce it, but it's like multiplied by trillions and trillions and trillions and trillions more stem cells.
Yes.
And it's written there. The scientists have seen it and they use these stem cells already successfully to produce different organs and even create new teeth. You can find
right, and that's what I was just going to say. In China, they're already
Yes.
doing that with the urine stem cell energy creating teeth.
And it's from aged urine.
Yeah.
Of course, they don't
Yes.
use the word aged urine. They say
Right.
stem cell, urine derivate stem cell.
Yeah,
waiting for-
derivative, urine derivative stem cell.
Yes, urine
right?
derivative stem cell, and in incubation waiting for a time of 4 to 5 weeks. So this gives you it's aged urine, what we call in our normal language aged urine. Urine that has been
exactly.
sitting there in their laboratories for 4 to 5 weeks. They say that this is much easy to work with these stem cells because they don't need to do any complicated procedure to take out the stem cells from different organs in a person. They just collect it from the urine. That's it.
Right.
They wait.
Yeah, now, because the rest of it is all done in petri dishes and test tube bottles and a lot of extractions. And it just makes sense, doesn't it?
You do it at home. And I mean, I don't need any scientific paper to validate my own testimonials, my own experiences. It's enough. Anyone can see by themselves. If you cut your flesh, you can see to test one part with aged urine and the other part with fresh urine and see which part heals the quickest. And why? It's obvious. It's because aged urine has much more medicinal properties, and because of the stem cells. And you can also see if you put it on your skin. I have seen my skin rejuvenating. I see it even after one session of whole body massage. If I do it long enough, for 1 hour or 2 hours, it's amazing. My skin looks like if I had done a lift. Really, it's like instantaneous. It's amazing.
Yeah, now let's talk about this, Monica, because this has been coming up a lot too.
Yeah.
Is a lot of people have a lot of skin issues.
Yeah.
And I am confident that it's the detoxing process. I mean, because people get really concerned.
Yeah.
And they seem that, okay, I keep drinking my pee, but my skin's getting worse and I'm having all these things. So let's address this, okay? Because I've had a lot of personal messaging lately on that one subject alone.
Yeah, detox is a bitch. Detox is really difficult to go through, and it's many people give up because it's uncomfortable, and I experienced that as well. When I first started for the first time rubbing my whole body with aged urine, especially that, because aged urine is so powerful that it will cleanse the body very quickly. This has been my experience. So right away I saw how my body started pouring out the toxins. You know, the first thing is let's get all these things out of the way so we can regenerate the cells afterwards. When I mean, you're not going to start. It's obvious for me the body is not going to start regenerating when there is garbage in the way. First you clean out the garbage and then you make everything beautiful and new. So this is the first part that is very difficult to go through. But if you continue, if anyone continues as I did, they will see that all these pimples and all these pains and headaches and so many other symptoms that may appear, they go away. They are temporary. And it's written in all the urine therapy books as well, you know. And
Teresa went through that, you know, my recent guest, and she's here with us as well.
Yeah.
And she went through that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I keep making reference to these people that keep asking me about this. Okay. Is that I said, look, this is the cleansing of a detox process.
I can share one testimony.
You have to hang in there. Yeah, it's going to get, you know, think about how long it took for you to get this ugliness, dirtiness, this unhealthiness built up in your body, your muscles, your tissue, your organs. You think you're going to just clean it out overnight? Don't work like that. You can't just hit delete and make it go away.
Yeah. And actually, I can be grateful that it doesn't happen like this, because it would be such a shock, you know. It's good that it goes gently, even though urine goes much more powerful, but it's always as much as the body can take, because the body is never gonna overwhelm you, you know, to a point where you can collapse. The body knows perfectly well, okay, this is how much we can take it, and it's gonna be fine without damaging, without causing too much trauma. It's everything perfect. You can really, really, really trust 100%, 1000% your body, you know? And I can share you one experience of my own, which was for me the most horrific detox that I had in terms of skin rash, And I used to smoke a lot of weed before, like, I don't know, 7 years or 10, like 10 or 11 years ago. I don't remember very well, but it was a long time ago. And I was smoking for like 6 months straight, a lot, you know? And I always realized that after smoking a joint, I would have some pimples coming on my face. And I knew, okay, it's because I smoked. It's like the pimples from the joint. It's like, you know, it made me remember when I was a teenager, after eating a lot of butter, I also got my pimples, and I was like, these are my pimples from the body. It's because I ate chocolate or things like that, you know? So you know that this is related to something that you have put into your body. So what happened? I started doing the whole body rubs. One day I discovered I had 2-year-old urine in my basement. And this was the first time that I started using the such a very old urine, you know, that also had almost no smell, no taste. This was the first time, my first discovery that urine could lose the smell and the taste if you let it open. So I had this bottle in the basement. It was a wine bottle, a glass wine bottle. And I remember I left it completely filled. And then 2 years later, I had forgotten about it. And 2 years later, I only put a cotton wool, you know, on the top. So it was breathing, you know. So 2 years later, I discovered that I had this bottle. Actually, I had several, but this one was the oldest. And it had reduced the water up to this point. There was only this little left in the bottle. So it was really concentrated in black. And this was very, surprising for me. It was the first time that I saw something like this. And I also smelled it, and I was like, wow! I was, for me, like, eureka, like a discovery that urine can lose all the smell. This is so great. And I remember I was coming with this bottle to my then boyfriend and telling him, look, smell, tell me, what it is, what is it? And he couldn't identify any nastiness, any nasty smell. So I decided to put that on my face because I wanted to look beautiful with the urine, you know? So I took a bath, and this was the first time I was doing such a such an old urine, you know, and I was concentrating only on my face and my whole head, neck, you know. For 2 hours, almost 2 hours, I was taking a bath and like, yeah, rubbing. Then, okay, I said, okay, enough. I'm gonna get out of the shower, out of the bath. And I remember seeing my face in the mirror, and it was very red. My skin was very red, and my eyes were red like Dracula, bright red. And I knew, okay, it's having an effect, a detoxifying effect. So it was fine. And I also felt like, wow, my circulation is really activated thanks to the aged urine. Wow, Casey, but then what happened? I would have never guessed this reaction.
So that was your first? That was your first time doing like that, the really aged urine?
Yeah,
doing,
the first time I had such an old urine.
I see.
And I was using it for 2 hours, you know, for such a long time. Because in the past, I was using only a couple weeks old, and not so much because it was stinky, you know. But I was so happy to see that, wow, there was no stinky smell, you know. I discovered something and I have to try it. I have to test it. So it was the first time having such an old urine. I'm telling you, I'm talking about probably 12 years ago or 13 years ago. It's really a long time because I've been with my husband for 9 years now. And actually, if I really think about it, it's more like 15 or even longer. Okay, anyways. I realized my whole skin started, my whole face started showing pimples. But really like, wow, like only 2 hours were enough of skin massage with this aged urine for my body to, within minutes after having, you know, taken a shower, my whole skin started having like pimples that were little tiny and growing, like becoming bigger, bigger,
like
bigger,
whiteheads.
Wow!
Like little whiteheads.
Yes, within just an hour, I would say, from being like tiny dots, they were like huge. I should have taken a picture because I look like a monster.
Yeah.
But really, there was no space in my whole neck, even inside of my ears, inside of my nose, my whole scalp, everything was covered in pimples. I look really like a horror movie monster. and I freaked out. I mean, I knew this is detox, but I was still afraid that, like, because this was the first time I was using such an old urine. And so I thought, maybe, who knows, maybe I am contaminating maybe, I don't know, maybe I had an allergic reaction to this urine. You know, the thought crossed my mind. But then then I realized that the pimples started oozing the oil of cannabis. The smell was of cannabis.
I see. Oh.
It was burnt THC. Wow, Casey, it was.
Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, and you know
that
what
makes
else?
A lot of sense.
You know what else I have to say here? I was really struggling during that time to give up smoking weed. I really wanted to give up this addiction, but I was so heavily addicted that I couldn't do it. I couldn't quit. Every day I would grab for the joint again, and it was not one. It was one in the morning, one at noon, one, like 4 or 5 in a day. So yes, my brain was covered in this. This is why my body started. After only one session with aged urine, all this THC that was stored within my brain, think about the healing power of aged urine is amazing. And yes. And then what I did was continue. I continued putting this aged urine, which was really, really painful because my skin was so irritated, but I continued putting it on. and it disappeared. All these pimples disappeared within only 2-3 days. I also fasted. I decided, okay, I'm gonna fast and I'm gonna get this out as quickly as possible. So I have to continue. And I was putting compresses of urine overnight as well in my skin. And then it cleared out, and then it never happened again because I stopped smoking as well. Getting rid of all these toxins from my brain was giving up the addiction. It freed me from the addiction. I could finally stop. I wasn't craving it anymore. I wasn't desiring. So it was my salvation. Urine saved me from all this toxicity that was in my brain, that was in my body, and from the addiction immediately in 3 days. And then
No.
you know, and then
Oh, I'm sorry. Finish
No,
your story.
I just wanted to say, to clear out any misconception, any fear that people might have that urine causes skin rash or things like that. It's not the urine, it's the toxins in the body. Because after my body was all this toxicity was out, whenever I went back to putting the same urine on my skin, there were no more pimples coming out. No more. There was only a beautiful skin, becoming more younger and more beautiful. That's all I wanted to say.
And you are beautiful, my friend. Now, see, I started smoking cigarettes at 8 years old, started drinking at 10, 11 years old, started smoking pot at 13, 14, and taking psychedelics at the same time. So, I mean, I'm old school, going on 65. Now, what I have come to the realization of, that I can now take it or leave it. I can actually, Nancy has some pot and I could have a hit or not. I don't even care. I can go months without pot. Now, do I like pot? Yeah, I like pot. But do I need it? No. I don't mind having a cigarette once in a while or a drink once in a while, but it's not an obsession anymore. And the urine therapy is what changed that for me. I can actually take it or leave it. I can fast or not fast. I can eat fruit or no fruit. I can eat cooked food or not. I can do anything that I want anymore because I realize I'm not attached to it. And that is the big difference for my own transformational experience, that I'm not attached to any of it anymore. And the urine therapy is what helps me, guides me, and it escorts me in the process.
Yeah. And this
it's really
is the
quite
beauty,
remarkable
that your
me.
journey is going to be so wonderful for you, and all the realizations you have, and it's unique, and everyone's journey is sacred, is unique, and you learn by watching your own journey. That's why I am not really interested in reading books in not that much. Of course I get inspiration and listening to other people and testimonies, but at the end of the time, I'm much more interested in observing my own body. What is my reaction?
Yes.
What I do, what I have to learn from this, discovered through my own practice, and share that.
Yes.
Each one then is
And
going to find
this is
the
why
way.
this is what's so important, Monica, for this is why I do what I do. I couldn't be more transparent. I don't want anybody to think I got anything figured out. I'm in a process of the process itself. I live my life every day, and I am always willing to just be honest about my experience, whatever that experience is. But the thing that never varies is whether or not I drink my pee. I never question the pee anymore. The pee is the constant. Yeah. It is the absolute constant in my life. Everything else can come or go.
Yeah.
It's really remarkable. It's mind-boggling to me how clairvoyant I am.
Yeah.
My whole source of well-being, how it's just so transformed because of pee. And I know it. That's why when the fruitarians, the people that argue about all these things, it's all good. It's all fine. But I'll tell you what, nothing works like pee to me.
You can always trust your own pee. You can always rely on it 100% because it's you. You are never gonna do any harm to you. Your own nature is really your best companion, your best choice, the best, as long as you keep doing that, you're in good hands.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, and here's the beauty, and I tell this to people. I say, look, in all of the history of this urine therapy, which goes back into 5,000 years in multiple cultures, there's no record of anybody dying because they drank their pee. And the only side effects you're ever going to experience are detox effects.
Yeah. It's so important to learn about detox and trust your body, your own processes. Your body's never gonna put you in any harm, do something that would harm you.
Yes.
Yeah, I only don't trust things that are machine made or industry made, or but what my own body makes and produce, and the processes that it decides to set on to in motion, I know I can always trust. Mm-hmm. All the rest, no. If I'm not sure about the food or something, better leave it. But about my urine, I can always be sure. Always, yes.
Well,
decision to drink.
And then one of the bigger problems that most people face, it's not really what they're eating, it's what's eating them. And they have too much lodged in their mind and their heart and their emotions, and their body will be a reflective source for what's eating them. And people don't understand how powerful stress is, and compounding, how much, if you're not just being honest with yourself, when you're hiding out from yourself, when you're lying to yourself, these things cause massive stress disorders, and that'll fuck up a body faster than anything. If we're not willing to clear our minds, clear our hearts, our body's just going to be a reflective tissue of our issue.
Yeah. I learned the most.
And we talked about this a lot, Monica,
yes.
Because we talked in our private conversations about the parasites, about all these monsters,
yes.
right?
Yes. I wanted to touch that because where I learned the most was during the time where I was only drinking my own urine, and I got I was more and more in touch with my own divine inner wisdom, and this revealed me so many things about diet, about so many other things, and about what you were just saying now, life itself, that life is a projection of my own energy. And really, we are magic. Our energy does magic. Our energy is the creative force of the entire universe. Is love, is divinity, is the spirit, is God. So
yes.
if this is what my experience was, and it's so marvelous because urine therapy, or cleansing the body through this natural, free giving medicine that you can always trust, and food that you can always trust, made me realize that it was not just healing my physical body, but healing my reality as well, transforming my reality, making it much more beautiful, happy, abundant, everything shifted. When my own energy shifted, when not shifted, because the energy I realize is always perfect, infinite, always love, divine, pure energy. But when I got rid of everything that was blocking this energy flow, which was getting rid of all the impurities in my body, all the blockages, all the obstacles that were like matter casting a shadow in the light, when all the shadow, yes, all the impurities, all these evil parasites, whatever you call it, just foreign matter that should not be in the body, that is not you, not your own nature. When this came out, and it came out through a long urine fast, yes, then wow, my channels were completely free, and my energy could flow again through my body. I experienced this. It was really like feeling this energy. At the same time, I was, wow, the emotion was of ecstatic happiness and love that doesn't require any effort. It comes so natural. So I was vibrating at the level of this energy, which was so high, and through this high vibration, me being, or this energy being God itself, love that creates all we see, all the matter, everything, that's magic, miracles, manifested, created in my life. Wow, Casey, the most amazing situations for me, automatically, just by purifying my body, my life got better. Everything I encountered was high vibration. There were no more haters stepping into my YouTube channel and commenting like evil, nasty things. There were no more people on the street giving me the look, or things like that, or people coming with bad intentions. Really, really, I saw that it's possible to change even how other people interact with you, how any situation, because everything is just a creation, whether you are conscious of it or not, is a creation of this divine energy. Divinity is always creating, and this energy is in you. When you let it flow through your body and you shine like a sun, and you only create the most wonderful, it's like being in heaven, really. This is heaven. Yes. You can create heaven or hell in your life, depending on how you let this energy vibrate and guide you and shine through your body. The body is like a projector, like a movie projector, and you are the light. Your true being is this light that projects, uses this 3D projector in order to translate this light into something that you can see and touch and experience. And it's wonderful because it's like your own dream. It's like your own movie. You're the director of it, and you're also participating in it. And everyone that is in it is actually you. This is the beauty. I mean, this is something that I have discovered, and I call this enlightenment. I came to this state where I was so pure in my body, which I was able to experience through a very long urine fast. And I can go into detail. I will go into detail at some point, but it's like I can talk for many hours about that because it's so much. But just to give you a hint, to touch upon this topic of how you can transform your reality by cleansing your body and vibrating higher. This is it. And I have seen it. And we are not separate. This is also the principles of Ho'oponopono. I'm sorry, I'm talking about so many things, but all the philosophies talk about this in different ways with different names, and I found Ho'oponopono, which teaches exactly the same. Change your vibration and you will change everything you experience in life. Just vibrate high.
Well, when you listen to any of the great philosophers, any of the great thinkers, any of the great motivators, inspirers, they all tell you the same thing. Whatever you think about, you bring about. It's your mindset that starts the wheel in motion.
Yeah.
And if you can't get your mind right, I don't care what else you're doing. Your mind has got to be in the correct directive, because what we program, what we talk about, we create. It's our manifestation. The subconscious conscious connection is critical in our experience overall. So if we're sabotaging ourselves, like the subconscious only has one answer, and it is yes. So whatever our consciousness is suggesting, our subconscious will absolutely support it in universal mind. And so, it's about want, or I don't, and I hate, and I this, and I that. And then the subconscious will go, okay, got it. You don't like it, you hate it, you want it. Okay, I'll make sure this all happens for you just the way you're directing me.
Yeah.
And people don't understand how powerful that simple knowledge is. I call it the captain and the crew. And if you don't get control of the captain who's flying the ship, man, the crew's going to run amok. It'll just run amok. And you got to get the connection correct. And then the rest of it will start taking care of itself on another supreme level. Now, we can talk about the urine therapy. We can talk about the diet. We can talk about all those things. But if our head is up our ass, we ain't going to get nowhere, because it really stinks up there, you know? And this is where people have a lot of struggle, is that they keep sabotaging themselves. They just goon themselves.
And why is this so difficult? Why? I always ask these questions myself, why? I know, I have to think positive. I have to feel positive. I have to be always positive. But why is it so difficult? Why do I have to keep fighting with these stressful thoughts, negative thoughts that come in my way? Oh my God, it's like never ending. I have to be alert, controlling my thoughts all the time. My God, it's so exhausting. And now I
Well,
found
and
a
it
very
is
simple
true. That's
way.
it.
I want to say
It's the only thing you can really control is your thinking.
well,
You can absolutely control your point of view, your perspective, and your reaction or action. You can actually control that shit. It's the one thing you can control if you pay attention.
yeah. And you know what? The beauty that I realized that there is even a much more simple way where I don't need to do anything because it happens automatically. No more negative thoughts, no more negative emotions, no more negative reaction, nagging of the mind, no more nothing. Perfectly natural, effortless. You know why or how I experienced this? It was a natural consequence of having purified my body. Wow,
Yes.
Casey. I never thought it had a connection with a correlation with toxicity in my body, toxicity in my brain. I mean, actual matter, toxic matter. As soon as I, thanks to this long urine fast, got rid, my body detoxed it, everything, you know, purified. I reached into this state where it was impossible for me to have a negative thought. And it happened automatically. Yeah. This is the simple way. You don't need to do anything else, or I experienced that. I didn't need to do anything else other than just control my hands, that my hands would not put something bad into my
chatter.
mouth. You know, food
is
not good for my body. That would leave, again, toxic residues in my body.
Yeah, you have to give yourself permission to get out of your own way. Now, I wrote that little simple idea down back in the 90s. In one of my writings, I said, give yourself permission to get out of your way. And it changed my life right in that moment. Just writing that thought down and reading it, I went, my God, I'm the only one that's getting in my way of anything happening. And I gooned myself better than anybody could possibly goon me. Even all the shit I was going through April, all of it.
Yeah.
I take responsibility for the lessons, for the setup. I set myself up in so many ways, but obviously I needed to have more growth. Yeah. I needed it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I wouldn't have manifested it.
Yes.
Now, was it fun? No, it wasn't fun.
Yeah.
You know, it was actually getting ugly. But am I okay about it? Absolutely.
We always grow.
This is how
everything
always grow.
Is good. Every experience is good, is wonderful. I am good. I am thankful that I also went through these stages where I was like, oh, I'm sabotaging myself. And I had no clue that it had to do with toxicity in my body, because I had then these both scenarios to compare. When I, by chance, did this long urine fast, and it was not only one, it was several, many, and also through my new diet of eating only raw foods, natural foods that don't cause any toxicity, or at least are the least toxic diet in my experience, that doesn't really leave any toxic residues. It's very easy for the body to eliminate all these foods, digest, and nothing stays in the body. So until I had this experience of going through this very, very deep cleanse, where I discovered that, oh my God, there is another way to get rid of these negative thoughts. And it's totally effortless. I don't need to do anything other than just get my body clean. Then I don't need to do anything else. I'm always happy. I'm always loving. It's really crazy, because I could see the past Monica with all this toxicity in her body, reacting badly towards situations, and also attracting these situations into her life because she was not vibrating that high. And even though she knew that, oh no, I don't have to sabotage myself, I don't have to think like this, it's my fault, I am attracting this because I am vibrating not really with love and compassion, you know, it was hard for me to be all the time vigilant of my thoughts and changing them. And then
yes, well,
yeah.
I mean, just this last month, I went through Now I was doing the diatomaceous earth, and I was doing lots of it.
Yeah.
Now I didn't even make the correlation to begin with. I was also doing the turpentine. Now this was all before I even had my guests arrive. And when it finally kicked in, I went 5 straight days of it just pouring out of my ass. I couldn't stop it. I thought I had IBS. I couldn't stop it. I was soiling the bed. I was soiling myself. It was nuts. It was totally nuts. And I couldn't even pee. I didn't have pee for 5 days because of what my body was detoxing. But what I knew, what I understood, is that I was getting compressed. I was getting all goofy and convoluted because of my circumstances, and my body was just rebuking. And until I changed my mind, until I changed my attitude, my circumstance, my heart, until all of those things started shifting, nothing was going to change. And my body was just a perfect mirror for all the other shit that I was processing.
It shows us what what is still there inside. And you know, I'm reading through some comments. They are asking, what's the worst detox symptoms you experienced? You were just talking now about the detox.
Oh, that was the worst. I couldn't even pee.
Yeah.
I had no pee for 5 days. No pee.
Wow.
It was weird.
Brian is asking.
That was the serious. That was heavier detox than all the other detox with the enemas in the early stages. I mean, I went through a massive different detox stages, especially through the fasting.
Yeah.
You know, when I was just doing UT fasting and 14-day fasts on UT.
Yeah.
Man, my body was processing some crazy shit.
Yeah.
Real crazy shit.
I also had very similar experiences on physical and also emotional and mental level. And this is really interesting. I'm going to share this experience. It was during my 14-day urine fast, where, oh my God, detox was horror, was like going through hell. For the first 9 days, I had a horrible headache that would not stop. 9 continuous days. It was really driving me crazy. I don't know how I managed to stay on the fast, but I knew I have to go through days. I have to continue. I want to get rid of this in a natural way, that it just stops, that my body finishes detoxing. And at the same time, my nose was dripping constantly mucus, and also I was coughing mucus. My lungs were just, you know, probably from so much smoking. I started smoking cigarettes when I was 17. So many things that, you know, we store in our system for so many years. Anyways, I had a lot of mucus coming out, a lot of phlegm and headaches. This was really a pain to go through. And then when this period of physical detox was over, I experienced emotional detox, which was, wow, I never expected that. All of a sudden, I started getting angry, like episodes of out of nowhere, memories from my past surface. Like I was living these happenings again, these situations again from my childhood, from like when I was a baby that I had forgotten. And I remember I was doing my whole body rubs with aged urine, and then all of a sudden I had this anger and sadness coming like here, and I needed to cry, and I needed to also yell at my mother. I was really like yelling at, you bitch, why did you do this to me? I was really like in a rage, but it only lasted for 5 minutes. And then after these 5 minutes where I was yelling, and at the same time I was crying, and I was really like, wah! Then
well, and it is, I mean, that's a detox in itself, right? I mean, this is an emotional.
It's amazing, and I was doing my whole body rubs, and I knew that I just needed to let it go, let it flow. And after these 5 minutes of it turned into laughter, into really the most amazing deep laughter. From this deep sadness, I shifted to deep joy, like wow. Because I felt this energy like was a dark, like a dark cloud leaving my body, and all of a sudden I felt like my spirit was like wow, shining like the sun. And I felt so much love for my mom. Like I really forgave her for anything that she did to me, you know, these little situations. Like when I was 15, there was a situation. When I was 3 months old, there was another situation where I felt abandoned. And then I felt like only love for my mom, and completely compassion and understanding that it was not her fault. That, you know, it's undescribable. And this is the most beautiful detox that happened to me after my physical detox. And it was emotional as well as mental. And I can only recommend anyone to go on a urine fast to experience this amazing awakening that it is, to really be strong, persistent, and get past all the detox, because you will experience such a magic afterwards. It's amazing. It was the most wonderful experience that I have had in my whole life. Really, I was in heaven afterwards. Yes.
Yeah, it is an amazing, you know, like last year when I was doing it all, you know that. I mean, I was like really on it when I was in the comfort of having that, you know, at my disposal, you know, doing the body rubs every day, the enemas every morning, you know, producing a show daily, you know, all of those things were in accordance to the time, place, and energy I had available. But I was doing those enemas and I was having regular bowel movements, so it wasn't like I needed enemas to clear my bowels. It was the detoxing process that was amazing. And I started having these little marbles come out, and Rosalind's the one who kind of educated me that that's the shit that had been hanging out in all the cavities, you know, curling up in the corners of our intestines for like ever. And that for 3 weeks, it was just like I was just having these marbles come out of me. It was crazy cool. You know, they would just, you know, marbles floating around like little rocks in the, you know, it was just funny. And, you know, and then I also did see, you know, parasitical evidence. I saw dead parasitical evidence. So, yeah, I mean, I recognize that the body contains these things, but more importantly, I realize that I am on a proactive course of good health and reversing my aging and feeling good. And that's what's happening every day for me anymore. That's why I say it really is moot to me, you know, what I choose to do at any given minute, because the body is constantly re-energizing and resuming its cell generation.
Yeah.
We have a new body every 7 years by definition in physiological nature.
Yeah.
So if we're constantly regenerating and putting in the stem cell enzyme and giving it all that, it's just amazing how much it accelerates in the change. Now, do I worry about any of the calcification? No. The ossification? No. Do I concern myself with sniffles? No. Do I think I need to get any kind of shots? No. Do I take any meds? No. Do I have pain? No. So what's the main ingredient? P, P, P. It's me. It's my pee. That's what's the main ingredient.
You are
and that's
all
the
magic.
only difference.
You are all unique, you know?
You know, I mean, it's just awesome to me how...
This is the message to everyone. You are all that you need. You are the best.
It's exactly the truth.
You are the magic. And it's your energy. Ultimately, it's not the urine, it's the energy that created this urine, that created your body healing, that created your wonderful inspiration, your thoughts, that creating your experience of life is you. It's you. Life is a journey of self-discovery. And to me, it has been so wonderful to find this tool that I can use to accelerate this self-discovery, to really come in touch with my true self, which is divine. And I know everyone is the same. We are one. I feel that. I have experienced that in this.
Well, and I've told this to people. I said, look, I'm a pretty smart guy. I'm not educated, but I do have a certain amount of intelligence, and I have done my homework, and I've studied a lot of different ideas in my life. But I guarantee, and I tell this to people absolutely unconditionally, urine therapy is the most important information I ever learned to date.
Yes,
Nothing has been more impactful.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Yes.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Now, somebody asked about whether they need to sterilize their pee bottles. It already is sterilized. Here, I'll show you something. You're gonna love this.
Yeah.
Okay, this is my to-go cup.
Oh.
Collapsible. Carry it in my pocket, keep it in my car. I can piss while I'm driving if I need to, okay? Now, do I ever wash it? Why? Why wash it? It's already sterile.
It's better than water. So you don't wash.
What am I gonna do? Put bleach in it or Dawn detergent? I mean, really?
I mean, it's up to everyone, of course, but I don't see the need. Sometimes if it's stinky, yes, okay, I wash it. I use shampoo or soap sometimes, but I realize that when my diet is very natural, my pee tastes beautiful, wonderful, smells wonderful, like a perfume. So why would I want to wash it? No, it smells really, really beautiful. I especially love the urine of my husband. It smells really like flowers. I don't know how he does it, but it's really, his energy is so beautiful. Once you clear your body of toxins and your diet, it has been my experience. Whenever I go back to eating something that is not natural, yes, my urine starts stinking. But when I am eating only from Mother Nature and without changing the produce, taking it raw, fruits, mainly fruits, I smell like a baby. I don't even sweat, I don't smell bad here in the armpits or no bad smell at all. My feet don't have a bad smell. I smell like a baby again. We can all go back to this pure state and smell like pure babies. It's so beautiful.
Well, like I said earlier, the body goes through a process, and it's constantly processing. So, like I said, I could have been drinking the night before or eating spicy curry food. That first glass might be a little gnarly, but by my second glass, it's as clear as water. So, the body just constantly it processes.
Yeah.
Now, Cristo, he wants to know where I got the cup. It was a gift, but you can find them online.
Yeah, check Amazon.
You can Yeah, and I don't promote Amazon, because they're trying to take over the world. But they're the monsters in the Midway. But yeah, they're easy to find. Stainless steel collapsible, and it was a gift from my dear friend Diana. She heard me talking about wanting one, and she was so thoughtful, and she bought one and gave it to me as a gift.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Nancy is saying the most important knowledge is ORIN therapy, and it's so true. It's so true.
Yes.
Because it's what will set us all free of any dependence of external food, of external medicine, of external help of any kind, because I have found in my own urine, through my urine fast, the best psychologist, the best therapy to process all traumas, the best everything, and also the tool to enlightenment, to my connection to God, divinity. So it's everything. It's really, really the key for freedom, total freedom and discovery of who I truly am. I mean, and it couldn't be any different. I mean, we are a perfect creation. We have everything in us that we truly, truly ever need. And it's our own water, our own magical energy that is charged in this.
Well, and thing is, it really did. It cleared up my sensibilities. Now, there were several things that I needed to become more cognizant of and aware of in my process. And one of them was that I had a compulsive, behavior, an obsessive compulsive behavior, which I never really recognized in my life before. Now, it was always good because I was a chef, and you have to be really on top of your game and organized as a filmmaker, as a builder. I mean, I looked at my attention to detail as something really important. But it also became an obsessive behavior. So I'm doing the urine therapy, I'm doing the body rubs, I'm doing the enemas, I'm doing diatomaceous earth, I'm doing turpentine. I was like doing all this stuff, and I hit a wall, and I realized that I was attempting to become like this champion of urine therapy, breatharian, fruitarian, whatever. I was striving to be like at the top of the food chain with no food, and all of these processes. Oh, watch me go like Superman. I fucking hit the wall. I hit the wall. And so that was healthy. It was a healthy thing that happened because I became cognizant. I became aware, and the urine therapy helped me get there. All of a sudden, I started recognizing like behaviors that I didn't consider to be the healthiest choice. And I never recognized those behaviors in my past. Urine therapy brought me to my knees,
That's
but it
great.
also brought me to my greatest vulnerability.
Yeah.
My biggest heart, my openness, more open in every way. And I always was an open-minded person, but now I'm a open-minded person. My receptors and my channel is coming in clean and loud and clear like it never has before. And it's all urine. It's all pee. There is no other answer.
Yeah. You gotta love all your processes and love all your ways to navigate in this life. Don't judge yourself as this and that, or at least I have learned to just embrace everything. And if I feel like going this path and trying this, or I feel motivated to be this, then it's all fine. It's all part of this self-discovery, and it's all fine. It's all good. We can all choose and love ourselves through this process. Love all our tendencies. It's all part of life experience, and it's all wonderful. As long as we don't, for me at least, the only rule that I observe is to don't do to others what you don't want others to do to you. So treat others the way you want to be treated. Don't hurt,
Yeah.
Then you're safe to.
Well, and I think the little book by Don Miguel Ruiz, the Four Agreements: be impeccable with your word, don't take it personal, don't assume anything, do the best you can. Now, these are simple ideas to live by, and they're really functional. Now, Rich is asking, like,
Yes.
do you think UT can create abundance and all that? Energy is energy, man. And the cleaner your energy, the more you create, and what you think about, you create. You manifest in your own mindset and your own heart and your own practitionering of how you're going to manifest the life you imagine. If you're living in a hell, you might want to look at why. If your life is like shit, you might want to see what you're thinking and why you're creating shit in your life. It's all relative, and sometimes it's just relatives. Ha ha ha. And they can be a real pain in the ass. So you just have to look at what you're creating as an energetic source.
Yeah.
What
I have seen.
It is.
What I have seen in my experience, that urine therapy, or it was just the purification of my body, the byproduct of practicing urine therapy, which created a more, a better channel for the high vibrating energy of my own soul, which is love. In my opinion and experience, is the most divine love, the most divine energy. So when I created this space and this energy could flow into my life, because of course life is a projection of this energy that we are, reflects what we are here inside, and then automatically my life became abundant. And this might not directly mean that I win the lottery or things like that, or more money, you know, because what is true richness? What is real abundance?
Yes.
And yeah, I mean, it can manifest in so many ways. In my reality, it manifested just the most magical outcomes and synchronicity, and everything I wished for, it was given to me, appeared. So everything was flowing. I don't lack anything. So if this is
well,
maybe...
and you know, having, you know, our health is our greatest wealth.
Yeah,
I mean, really, when you get down to it, I mean, because when you're sick and tired, you're sick and tired, and that can just reflect in all levels of your life. Now, I have a question that went back, and I think you have an experiential answer about doing urine injections.
Yeah.
You've done those, haven't you?
Oh, yes.
Talk about urine injections.
What about urine injection? Wow, I can tell you my first experience with the urine injection. Wow, it's such a powerful way to boost the immune system like nothing else I have experienced before. And I'm talking about aged urine specifically, because it's like using the strongest medicine with the strongest technique or most direct way to get it into the bloodstream. And it was, at that time, I had already done a lot of research about urine injections, but I never tested one myself because I never had the opportunity, and I was also like a little bit nervous about this, but I was of course very curious. I wanted to know everything I could do with my urine, to learn about urine therapy. And then one day, the perfect situation presented itself in my life. And it was, my diet was very bad at that time. I wasn't even vegan. I was eating anything I wanted, and it was junk food, you know. That's why I became with an infection, and the infection started spreading all over my body. And I really got nervous because within only a couple of hours, I saw my leg, my left leg, or my right leg, swelling double its size. And I couldn't walk anymore. The infection started because the groin area had a torn ligament, a torn groin, you know. And
yes.
And two things were here. The situation was very critical, chronic, and I also needed to get well very quickly, because I couldn't afford to not work. I had to continue working the next day. I was on a deadline, one of my fashion shows. Anyways, so I thought, oh, great situation to try out the urine injections. So I asked one of my tailors, who was a nurse or had been practicing as a nurse. She knew how to put injections. I said, can you please do me a favor? Can you put an injection and just take the urine from that container? And I chose the container that I had that had the oldest urine. It was 6 months old. And she knew I was crazy and I was doing the urine therapy. I told her, don't worry, I know what I'm doing. I never had tried this before, but okay, she was a nurse. Everything was perfect. Also, how the universe conspires and gives you all the tools, you know, someone who knew how to put injections, you know, who was there to attend me. And also, I was so grateful that my mom was not there, because she would have freaked out seeing my leg so swollen and me become like a very emergency, you know, picture that no, she would have rushed me to the hospital. I would have had to argue with her, you know. Of course, she would not have convinced me to go to the hospital, but all the stress to argue. Yeah, I was so happy that I was alone in my house. Only this tailor was there, but she was going back home. Everyone was leaving from my atelier. And I said, okay, before you leave, please put this injection. Yes. So she took a 5 cc. So it's a pretty large dose, yeah? Or the normal syringe size with the long needle, and injected in my buttocks. 5 cc of aged 6 months old urine. Wow! the reaction was immediate. Like only 5 minutes after the injection, my body got a fever, and the fever was so strong. I didn't have a thermometer, but I'm sure it was like over 40 degrees Celsius. I don't know in Fahrenheit, but it's like the top that you can go before it's dangerous, or before, 105 degrees Fahrenheit. I know it because it's the top that you can go before cooking your food in the raw vegan cuisine. No? So
there you go.
Yeah. And it was so perfect timing, Casey, because just days before, I had a talk with a naturopath, a German naturopath, a very dear friend of mine, who explained me why fever is so great. And you should never be afraid of your body getting a fever. That he had cured patients inducing fever through herbal preparations, because their bodies were so blocked, their immune system was so shut down that their own bodies couldn't produce a fever anymore. And it turns out that the immune system needs to raise the temperature in order to fight pathogens, to fight viral infections, bacterial infections, parasites, whatever the pathogen that is causing the problem in the body. So he told me, Monica, the worst that people do, and this is so brainwashing by the medical industry, the pharmaceutical industry, you have a fever, you have to turn the fever down quickly as possible, it's dangerous. No, Monica, the fever is perfect. It's a natural mechanism of the body for healing itself. You should support the fever. I have healed patients of cancer with fever, inducing them fever, and they go up to even 43, 44, the maximum that you can go. The body doesn't surpass that, because the body is intelligent. The body would never put you under any risk. Your organ, it would never do you any harm, But it raises so much, so the immune system is much more strong, much more powerful, and working really like crazy. And this is how you heal the quickest. And I have had patients being with over 40 degrees fever for even 2 weeks, 3 weeks long. And at the end of that ordeal, they came out perfectly healed from cancer, no more tumors, nothing. And they were, of course, only eating raw foods. He's a raw foodist. This is his protocol. Only fruits, fresh fruits, and either fever or colon hydrotherapy. Anyway, he told me that. So when I got this fever, I wasn't worried. I remember what he said, and I was like, oh God, thank you so much that I know this, that I can remain calm. And as he told me, I'm going to support the fever. I'm going to take a really hot bath, hot shower. I'm going to do my whole body rubs. And I realized, I was in bed. I was unable to move my leg at all because it was so painful. But as soon as the fever started, the pain was going down, and I could move my body a little bit. So I could crawl down, go to the toilet, and do my whole body rubs with aged urine. And I had this horrible headache. I mean, the healing crisis was horrendous. But guess what?
And this all started 5 minutes.
5 minutes.
5 minutes after the injection.
Terrible headaches and high fever, going even higher and higher, going more stronger headaches. And then I did about 45 minutes of whole body rubs, especially the head area, because I couldn't bear these headaches. It helped me a lot with the headaches, but it was still strong going and the fever going. But I could manage to do the whole body rubs, then take a hot shower, go to bed and cover in hot blankets. And wow, Casey, only 1 or 2 hours later, my fever was completely gone. My headaches were completely gone. And my leg was completely normal. The infection went away in only 2 hours after the urine injection.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yes.
Yeah, I remember.
Then,
see, I heard this story before. That's why I knew it'd be a powerful one.
Yeah. I'm telling you with more detail. because after these
Yeah.
2 hours, finally, and I have to also mention here, the fever was at some point, and the headaches were so strong that I started in going into delirium, almost like in a coma, like really. But it never got to a point where it had harmed my body. No, I knew I could trust. I had to trust my own nature. It would never put my body would never put me under any harmful or risky situation. I could trust my own mechanisms of defense. I had to remain calm and just bear through this hell because it was hell. But it only lasted for 2 hours. Actually, the very heavy pain was only 1 hour. And then after these 2 hours where it got, calmed down, I could sleep. I slept for 2 hours. And when I woke up, this is 4 hours after the urine injection, I woke up, my whole bed was drenched in sweat. Like, wow, my body had sweat all those toxins out. And I felt like a new person. Only 4 hours, my body was healed like a new person.
Wow.
This is how powerful urine injection is, and even more if you use H-urine. But you have to be aware that it can come with a slap in the face, that the healing crisis can be so hard, and you have to remain calm. You have to not take any antibiotics, not take any painkillers, not take any food, actually. Fast and take a rest and support the fever. This is very important. So I was really, really fortunate to have had this talk before, so I knew how to handle it. I didn't do any stupid things like calling an ambulance or, fever, let's put some drugs, because that can be risky. That can cause complications and really fatal outcomes. As long as you remain calm and let your body do the work, you trust your own nature, you don't interfere with anything that is not natural, your only medicine has to be your own urine, and it's fine, and it can go like so quickly. You're a new person. And the best thing was the next day, after having sweat so much, I didn't have any pain, anything, and I could stand up and change my bed sheets, and then I slept because I was so exhausted. The next day, Casey, I was up and working like a machine, like nothing happened. I didn't skip a day of work.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No, and this is the thing. This is why we are having this conversation, my dear friend, is so that people understand that it's all about testimonial.
Yeah.
Because you can do all the science, all the research, read all the books. You can study until you're blue in the face and your head is just swelling with knowledge. But until you just start doing it, till you actually start experiencing what P will do for you, you, the individual, your own perfect medicine, start doing it, rubbing it, drinking it, aging it, drink it in the nose, put it in the eyes, the ears, put it in your teeth, your mouth, your ass, do the enemas, the whole 9 yards. This is what I want to encourage people, is we want to hear your story. And at the risk of me being redundant a lot, I always want to keep talking to the newest person in the room.
Yeah.
I want that newest person to realize, just do it. Just start doing it. You're overanalyzing it. You're worrying about it too much. You're thinking that you got to get your diet right, or I can't do it with meds. You can do it no matter what. You can drink your pee. You can drink your pee.
Yeah, your medicine is always there. It's always giving freely for you to take it. You can take advantage of it any minute, no matter where you are, and you will just, as you say, learn by doing. Trust your own experiences. At the end of the day, it's not what I tell you, what Casey tells you. It's what you see with your own eyes, through your own experimentation. Dare to trust your own experiences. And to give it a try if you feel like.
Yes. Now, I just want to do a little promo for next week. Jeffrey, Schofield. He's in the house. He's my guest next week. And Jeffrey and I have had some pretty interesting conversations. Now, people won't know him by name because he's not big, hasn't been on Facebook or this, that, and the other. But I'm going to assure you, you're going to want to hear what Jeffrey has to say. This is a remarkable human being, and we've had lots of conversation. And so I want to encourage people to tune in next Tuesday as well. And then I have Harry Matadine, the crazy madman Harry.
Great.
He's coming up in 2 weeks.
Great, Harry.
So, we're keeping it lively here at the live thing.
Yeah.
We got really interesting people. And more importantly, what we want people to understand, it's not about me. This is not about me. This isn't about Monica. This is about you. What are you going to do?
Yeah.
When are you going to get it? We want to hear your story. When I came into the scene, I had just watched and binged on YouTube videos with Allegedly Dave, Andrew Norton Weber. I found different things. And what I heard Andrew Norton Weber say, he said, we're looking for the 100th monkey. I knew that was me. I just knew it was me. I don't know why I knew. I don't know how that was going to work. Had I realized, then what I realize now, it's like, my goodness gracious, everything that I imagined has come absolutely full circle, and here I am.
Yeah.
And is it about me? No, it's still not about me. It's not about me. It's about you.
Me. There is only
There is no me. I am the I am that I am. That part people go, well, you never talk about, God or religion. Of course not. I always talk about the I am, because that is,
yeah.
I am that person. I am the God within.
Yeah.
I recognize it. I got everything I need. Everything. I'm a complete unit, and I take care of my temple. I drink my pee. I'm a well-oiled machine.
Thank you so much,
Why?
Casey. I'm so happy that we did this and that you're doing this and having so many people sharing their wonderful testimonials and experiences and lives. And this is how we grow, by getting together and doing this together. We are all in this together. We're
all in this together.
Yeah.
I keep re-emphasizing this stuff at the risk of redundancy. But that's why I started the High Vibe Tribe. That's why we have the Peace Global Tribe. That's why we created I created just recently P Harmony UT Singles, because I wanted people to keep feeling that they're welcome, welcome, welcome. That we're building a tribe. We're building something powerful. We're building a real trust, an experiential trust with true tribals. This is why I keep re-emphasizing, quit the infighting. There's infighting going on over the stupidest shit, and it's so unnecessary. We should be a unified force all over the world, every group, every tribe, every person. We got to unify this stuff. We're already enough of a minority that we have to quit the infighting and arguing over petty, moot point bullshit.
Yeah, we are.
There's
we
my
are
little
already.
peace stand.
We are
Yeah.
already unified. We have never been separated. We only have to learn to unlearn, to deprogram, to realize that we are all that already. So,
Yeah. All we got to do is own it.
Yeah.
We just got to own it.
Don't
step up and own it.
Yeah. Don't be embarrassed.
Don't hide out.
Don't feel bad. Don't let this program run your life. No, why? I am proud to say I drink my urine. It's the most delicious that
absolutely.
is, because it's me. I love myself, and I'm wonderful, and everyone is wonderful, and life is wonderful, and it can be so simple, and anyone can heal themselves with this free giving medicine. You have all that you need in you, and I'm so happy to know this and to tell it everyone. Yeah, I do. I drink tea. It's the most wonderful thing. It's full of wonder.
And the thing is, Here's the thing, and you know this like I know it. It's very freeing to be open-minded, open-hearted, and open in expression about your pee. Why would you want to hide this information? Why? Why would you ever want to hide this information? Because of what other people may think? Who gives a shit what other people
It's
will think? They're
important
going to
that
think
you
what they think
think.
regardless
Yes.
of what you think, man. Because the new people, the people that are looking, the people that are sick and tired of being sick and tired, the people want to heal, they need to hear this, and they need to hear it from more and more and more people, more often. More. Don't worry about the risk of what other people think. They don't give a shit about you anyway, trust me. They
Yes.
don't.
Just be
If
happy
they
for
did,
you.
they would listen. They
Mhm.
would follow. They would follow your lead. They would follow your lead.
Yeah.
Trust
Yeah,
that part.
just be happy for you, be grateful for you, love yourself, and don't hide your happiness. Don't be afraid to tell it how it is, to show your happiness.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
And
indeed.
don't worry what people
Yeah. You know what? I don't think I told you today, Monica, how much I love you, darling. But you have been one of my favorite people from the very first day you reached out to me.
Oh,
And I'll never forget that day. I mean, how this all emerged. I mean, I was just having fun making my little videos because I just wanted to journalize my journey. And then Wiley Schmidt comes along and he says, "Oh, you should be in a group." And I'm going, "Group? What groups?" Right? So he signs me up into a group. I put a video in a group. All of a sudden along comes Monica Schutt and she's going, "Dude, you're the shit. You rule, man." And you just started being a cheerleader for me, and you inspired and encouraged me. And I learned so much from you right from the get-go. And we've been tight friends right from the beginning. Yeah.
yeah, I
We've
saw
been real,
your
we've
first
been
video.
tight friends.
I saw
You
your
know,
videos on YouTube, and I was like, wow, there's this guy, wow, completely turning his life around. Wow, being not afraid of going full force into the urine therapy. He has already changed his diet. He's already drinking every drop of his urine. He has stopped doing surgeries or taking all this medication, and he's really doing it. This is so wonderful. I need to support him. I need to tell him, wow, this is marvelous, and I'm going to be cheering him till I see him succeeding, because I know he's going to do it. And I see, Casey, you're a living proof. I mean, from almost being unable to walk, to use your hands within only 6 months, a year, the transformation you have gone through is amazing. It's so inspiring, and it will only get better and better.
And lots of people are commenting that you have been that inspiration for them as well. And this, I don't want to claim that I'm a urine therapist. I am a healer, and I don't charge a fee. And I have one patient, and that patient is me. So I'm a testimonial, but I am inspirational and I am motivational, and I will make that claim. I want to inspire and motivate people to get their shit together and get their head out of their ass and get with the program and start healing yourself, being yourself, loving yourself. Be the magic that lives within.
Yeah.
Quit hiding.
Yeah, we can only do that by doing that ourselves. That's the best way to do it, to show that it's possible. And doing it.
Be a living testament.
Yeah.
And there's no greater testament than your good health.
Yeah.
Especially in our sick world. We live in a really sick world, with lots of sick people that are just poisoning their minds, their hearts, their bodies all day, every day. And nothing is going to be more impressive than people like you, me, Glenn, Harry, Teresa, the magic stardust, and she is. I love this woman. The day I spotted Teresa, I said, whoa, shit, look at this girl. I got to get my hands on this girl. And it just shows like that. See, and I reach out. I reach out to everybody, man. Once I catch your wind, I go, man, I want to sail with this person. And I do. I reach out.
Yeah.
And I invite.
Everyone is so amazing. I am so touched by everyone. I mean, Oh, really? It's so amazing. Back in the days, I felt like I'm the only crazy one. And now I
Yeah.
see, wow, so many. And it is so wonderful, so wonderful. And it's happening, that the change is happening. We are overcoming these wrong programmings. We are becoming free. And it's so wonderful. Yes, just
Now,
continue.
now, yeah, so just I've been bringing it up over the last
Ryan,
few
yes.
weeks, and I've made a few notations, even a program about it. But I'm in the development of a intimate,
Yes.
intensive, but fun and creative and celebrative retreats.
Yes.
Now, this is something that I've been working on a long time. Okay, I've been doing these types of seminar teaching training things since the 80s. I've been doing this a long time. And so we're doing this, and what I'm hearing Virginia to do is to create this modality, this template. And I already am heading to Washington, and I'm already in a conversation with somebody there to do one in Washington. So we're looking at duplicating this model and keeping it intimate. That's the whole point. I want to be able to keep them to a reasonable level so that people can really get to know each other, really bond with each other, really help in the dynamic of healing ourselves and each other. It's not a me and you. It's not a me and them. It's an us. We're just creating. I'll be a moderator. I'm creating the model so that we can do this. It'll all be inclusive. We're going to eat together. We're going to hug together. We're going to camp together.
Dance.
We're going to celebrate,
Don't forget to
And so
dance.
I am doing this. This is happening. We're already got the first one scheduled, third weekend of July,
Wonderful.
20th, 21st, and
Wonderful.
22nd.
Wonderful.
And I'm going to Washington. Anybody wants to give me a shout out and hook up? I already know I'm going to Montana to see Tim. I already know I'm seeing another friend who gave me a shout out, and I'm going to stop by and see her in Idaho. I'm seeing another old friend in Eastern Washington. I'm hooking up with a new friend that just started doing urine therapy in February. She just got started. She also found me, found my channel. People are reaching out. People are starting to discover what this is really about. We are building a massive consciousness and paradigm shift. We're shifting on a world scale. So don't be afraid. Get out of your way. Get with the program. This, you're in Idaho too, Christo. Awesome. I'm going to be near Coeur d'Alene. So I tell you what, PM me. And this is why I do these shout outs. PM me with your information. We'll exchange. We'll get each other's phone numbers. This is why I travel, because I want to be with the peeps, the real peeps.
Yes.
I want to know people. This is what my whole mission from the time I started drinking pee. This is why I do what I do. I want to get with people. I'm not isolating myself at all. At all.
Thank you.
And you're in
so
Coeur
much.
d'Alene as well. Perfect. We're going to hook up in Coeur d'Alene, bro. Look at that. How cool is that?
It's wonderful.
That's cool.
Wonderful.
Now, here's the thing is that, when I'm in Washington and we're looking at maybe doing this next retreat as early as August, I'm going to be there in the next 2 weeks. I'm going to be in Washington. And this new friend, Tony, and we're looking at doing it on her property, her and her husband's property out in the North Seattle area. They also have property, and this is what we want to do, is set up these dynamics with intimate groups where we're camping together, we're eating together, we're sharing together, we're learning together, and we are working it. And we're going to make this work. It's just a duplicatable model. And so this is how it's rolling. This is the purpose.
Awesome.
And we're just getting it started, man. Really just getting it started. So, yeah, I welcome people. Give me shout outs. I'm going to go to Oregon. I'm going to go to Reno again. I'm going to be moving around. We're going to the symposium in September. So I've got a beeline going to Vegas in September. But I'm going to hook up with Teresa. We've already made plans. I'm going to her grand opening of her, Take a Stand smoothie store.
Oh,
I'm going to get around. That's my whole life mission. You know,
wonderful, wonderful.
this is what we're on to. Yeah.
Yes.
So we're working on it. Michelle, I don't know where you're leaving early June. That's a little early, but stay tuned. I welcome people. If you're on my Facebook right now, you have access to my personal messenger. Send me your info. You can send me your phone numbers and I'll call you because I don't like the text thing, gets me bored fast. I hate to sit and text. Makes me nuts. I'd rather video chat or talk on the phone or do something because sitting there, I'm a two-finger hunting pecker. And then when I'm sitting there on the phone doing that little thing and having to keep going, shit. Nah, man, let's talk. Let's get with the old school.
There's someone asking, Monica, what kind of fruits you eat. And I want to invite you. I see Flo that you also speak Spanish, I think. But I am going to make a video either tomorrow or after tomorrow where I will go in depth about my diet and what I have learned in regards to diet and nutrition and all that stuff. So stay tuned for that. I need to go now. It's
Yeah, I need to go too. I'm gonna be busy until late tonight doing all this production work, but it's been so worth it.
But it's
and yes, I'm leaving for Washington, just so you know. I'm leaving for Washington. I'm leaving on Sunday. So I'll be there next week. I'll be heading through Montana. I think I'm going to be heading up through Wyoming, Montana, Idaho, Washington, Oregon, California, and Nevada, and then heading back. So just those are points of interest if you're interested. So that's how it's rolling. Monica, I love you so dearly, darling. You're my hero.
I love you
kisses
too.
and hugs to you.
Thank you so much.
No, this has just been such pure joy. So
and
love you.
Love and kisses to everyone as well. Thank you so much for tuning in and just be happy.
Yeah. We will talk real soon, my friend.
Wonderful.
You and I'll be on it.
Yeah.
I love you. Thank everybody. I thank everybody for joining us today. It's really been a privilege and an honor. Don't forget, next week I have I've got a beautiful guest with Jeffrey Schofield. Then Harry Matadine is the week after that, and then I'm going to have Nancy Fox because we're going to talk about the retreat. So these are what's coming up for the next couple of weeks. So it's all love.
Love you guys. Love you, everyone.
Okay.
Love you, we do. Casey, thank you so much.
Keep your piece together.
Bye-bye.
Make it to the symposium in September, and boom, you just been loved. Bye now.
Bye-bye.